Welcome to our first official lesson of geometry, Lesson 1-1, the Undefined Terms. What I would like you to do is take a moment to pause the video and copy down the pictures you see on the screen. Once you are done, unpause the video and begin following along. We have terms, definitions, pictures, and how do we name or define each term? Our first term is a point. A point is a location. It's a dot you physically cannot see unless you create it or draw it. A point being a location, our room is a location, room 207. It's a classroom here at Anderson High School. Right next door is another classroom here at Anderson High School, room 205. Notice the fact I said room 207 and room 205. These classrooms are here at Anderson High School among other classrooms in the school. To refer to these classrooms, we have to differentiate these points or locations with a name, or in this case, a room number. We could say the same thing about Chick-fil-A, since there are so many of them in Austin. To differentiate them, we simply call their Chick-fil-A locations by street names. For example, Chick-fil-A Breaker and Chick-fil-A Parmer. A point is also zero-dimensional, meaning it has no shape or size. Let's look at these 2 points. These are 2 ordinary points. This point has a capital letter A next to it, and this point has a capital letter B next to it. We simply call this A, or point A, and this B, or point B. So to define a point, we use the capital letter next to it. A line is a straight path that extends forever in both directions without end. It is one-dimensional, which means it has one pathway. You can move left and right, or up and down, but not left, right, up, and down. A line being one-dimensional means it has length, but no thickness or width. Here's a picture of a line. It has an arrow on one end and an arrow on the other. A line with arrows shows that it extends forever in both directions. The line never stops. How do we name a line? You need 2 points to name a line. There's points A and B, so we write A and B. And to clearly tell someone that we're talking about a line, we draw a line above those 2 points. We call this line AB. You can also call this line BA because again, the rule is we need 2 points to name a line. Simply write B and A and draw a line above those 2 points. Again, this is called line BA. So you need 2 points to name a line. And there's one more way to name this line. Look at the lowercase letter next to the line itself, which in this case is a lowercase letter L. So we can call this line, line L. And we named it based on the lowercase letter next to the object itself. Now, look at the line. The question I'm going to ask you is how many points are there on this line? If you guess 2, you are incorrect. Remember, a point is a location. Points A and B are locations. But we cannot neglect the fact that there is a location here, 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 there, and so on. Just because you see 2 points on this line does not mean there are only 2 points. In fact, a line contains an infinite number of points. In the English language, we use the prefix co, which means joint or together. Cooperate, co-worker, co-manage, etc. are some examples of using this prefix. Collinear point means points on the same line. The picture shows there are 3 points on the same line. We say that points FUN are collinear. Now, if I include another point, say point B, then we say points FUNB are collinear. A plane is a flat surface that extends without end in all 4 directions. It is 2-dimensional, which means it has length and width. You can move left, right, up, and down, not left and right or up and down. That's one-dimensional or a line. Examples of planes are rectangles, triangles, circles, hexagons, squares, etc. These shapes I named are 2-dimensional. You need 3 points to name a plane. We see points FUN, so to name this figure we call it plane FUN. Another way to name a plane is by the capital letter that doesn't have a point next to it. R is capitalized, and it doesn't have a point next to it, so we can simply call this object plane R. So to recap, we need 3 points to name a plane, so plane FUN, or by the capital letter, so plane R. Now, something else to note about a plane is that it contains an infinite number of points. Just because you only see 3 points does not mean that this plane has 3 points. It's the same idea as a line. It has an infinite number of points. Can you think of a plane that we use in mathematics? If you guessed the xy plane, then you are indeed correct. Coplanar is very simple. They are points that lie on the same plane. We have points FUN that are together on the same plane. Therefore, points FUN are coplanar. A line segment is part of a line. If I draw a line and chop off the arrows and replace them with points, we have endpoints. We can think of line segments as having a starting point and ending point, or just having stopping points in general. The line segment is finite as opposed to a line where it's infinite. To name a line segment, you need 2 endpoints. Points A and B are endpoints, so we write the 2 endpoints, A and B, and then draw a bar above those 2 points. This is called line segment AB. The order doesn't matter when writing line segments. You can even call this object line segment BA. Write points B and A, then draw a bar above the 2 points. A ray has one endpoint and extends in one direction without end. Look at the figure drawn. It has point A as its endpoint, or starting point, and then it moves to and extends beyond point B, hence the arrow drawn. When writing a ray, order matters. You need to write the starting point and any point after it. To finish writing a ray, you need to draw a ray above the 2 points. In this case, you will write A first, then B, with a ray above the 2 points. This is called ray AB. Remember, order matters when naming rays. You cannot call this ray BA because B is not the starting point or ending point. A is. Again, A first, B after, then draw a ray above the 2 points. Congruent means same size, same shape. Suppose you are comparing 2 different segments, line segment AB with a measure of 3 cm and line segment XY with a measure of 3 cm. We can agree that these 2 objects have the same shape and have the same size, but are different in terms of naming. So we say that line segment AB is congruent to line segment XY. This symbol is the congruent symbol and written between 2 objects to make a comparison. Furthermore, the slash mark you see on both segments AB and XY are tick marks which indicate congruency. There is 1 tick mark on line segment AB and 1 tick mark on line segment XY, which tells the reader without words that they are congruent. Let's flip over to the next page and discuss the intersection of lines and planes. Here's a definition. The intersection involving 2 or more geometric figures is the set of points they have in common. For instance, let's take a look at this example. 2 lines intersect exactly at 1 point, and that's always true. We have line L and line M. These 2 lines intersect exactly at 1 point, which is point P. So what is the intersection of the 2 lines? P or point P. Next, let's move on to the second example. 2 planes intersect in a line. There are 2 planes shown. We have plane B in blue and plane A in green. By looking at the 2 planes, they intersect at line R. The question is, what is the intersection of the 2 planes? Again, line R. Over here, a line and a plane intersect exactly at 1 point. Here's an example with a line and a plane. The line can be called in multiple ways: line QS, line QR, or line SR. And the plane is called plane T. Where do these 2 objects meet? At this particular point called S or point S. So therefore, your answer should be S or point S. Let's move on to the next section of our notes. For numbers 1 through 5, refer to the figure to the right. Number 1. Name a line that contains point A. Here's the line that contains point A. The line itself has 3 points. Remember, you need 2 points to name a line. We can call this line AB, line BC, and line AC. But don't forget, you can call this line by its lowercase letter where the lowercase letter is next to the object itself. Since there is a lowercase letter L next to the line, then we can call this line line L. Number 2, what is another name for line M? Here is line M highlighted. Another way to name a line is by using 2 points, which in this case we have points B and D. So let's just call this line BD. Also, as a reminder, order doesn't matter when it comes to writing lines. The rule is that you need 2 points to name a line. Number 3, name a point not on line AC. This is line AC. We can see that points E and D are not on that line. So, those are our answers. Number 4, what is another name for line L? Here's line L, which was already highlighted. It contains points A, B, and C. We only need 2 points to name a line. But recall we already provided names for line L. The answers from number 1 will be applicable to number 4. So I will highlight my answers and draw an arrow to number 4. Number 5. Name a point not on line L or line M. The only point not on those 2 lines is point E. Now for numbers 6 through 10, we will draw and label a figure for each relationship. Number 6 says line AB is in plane Q. I will first draw plane Q and then line AB on top of the figure. As I always say, you need 2 points to name a line. Does the picture I have satisfy what number 6 says? Yes. Number 7 says line ST intersects line AB at P. We saw a picture of this example before, specifically at the top of this page. I will first draw line ST and then line AB. These 2 lines should intersect only once. The intersection should be labeled P or point P. Number 8. Point X is collinear with points A and P. Remember, collinear means points lie on the same line. I will draw my line with the arrows, then draw 3 points labeled A, X, P respectively. Can we say that X is on the same line as points A and P? Yes. So therefore, the picture satisfies the directions for number 8. Number 9. Point Y is not collinear with points T and P. This is the opposite of number 8. What we will do is draw a line with arrows and then have points T and P on that same line. But point Y will be outside of the line. So therefore, the picture satisfies the direction for number 9. Number 10. Line L contains points X and Y. We will draw a line, and since L is a lowercase letter and not a point, we will write it next to the line itself, and then draw points X and Y on that line. So ultimately, we have line L with points X and Y. See you next time.